I just asked Tony about you developing into an all-around hitter this season and reaching base in every single game. What do you think your response would have been if I told you before the season or last season that you were going to reach base safely in every game that you play this year?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been shocked if you said that to me. I just get a chance to be around Elander every single day, and a bunch of the other guys. You got Keelan in your lineup. You got Dean Curley, a vet like Hunter Ensley you're hitting behind, and just a bunch of guys that kind of you learn from them as they go, and it's really helped me along the way.
Tony has talked to us the last couple of weeks about feeling like the process and the response for y'all's team has been good. How important was it for y'all to see some success with that process last week in Hoover going into the tournament?
Yeah, I think it's really good for our team to see that. I think it's even better for our freshmen to understand that, the role that they've had on our team, and you have guys on our team have success at such a young age. And I think that's good for this program in the future too, not just this year, but you got a ton of young guys on the team. I can probably name them on two hands that are impact guys. So, obviously not even just on the field, but off the field, these kids are learning and, learning how to handle success and how to lose, and how to take away from it and learn and grow. And I think it's really helping us.
Kind of building off that, Tony just said this league can, beat you up, but it's also going to prepare you. How do you feel like you guys have been prepared the last, month or so for what's to come this weekend in postseason?
The way we thought about it going into this week, the SEC tournament's arguably the hardest tournament to win in the country. You can even include Omaha, right? You're looking at, I guess, what is it now, 14, 16 teams that are the best teams in the country. You can mix them up any way possible, and you'll probably have 6, 7 of them possibly in that Omaha bracket. So with it being single elimination too, it's not easy, especially without those double byes. So for us to experience that, and obviously like he was talking about earlier, we had some success there. It definitely gives us hope going forward that we are ready for where we are and what's to come.
For you, in the back here, for you missing the tournament last year, getting back to this regional experience, just what does that mean to you?
It's cool. It's something I expected. I expect to be in the postseason every year. Do my best to help lead this team early on in the fall and make sure that we're on track for that, which I felt like we've been in all 3 years that I've played college baseball. Obviously it just didn't work out the way it did, wanted it to last year, but I feel really good about where we're at right now, and this team is super, super talented. So I think I've said this in almost every press conference I've done, nothing this team does shocks me. There's just so much talent all over the locker room, and you can mix up any which way of guys, and you can field 9, and there's still going to be 4, 5, 6 guys on your bench that you're like, ooh, I wish I could have saw him in the lineup today, and you really can't. You just only have nine options. So,
what area of this team do you think needs to see the most improvement heading into Friday?
I don't know if it's a specific area. I think it might just be as a whole. There's just a couple, things you want to button up, a couple I's to dot and T's to cross. But I feel really good about where we're at.
Obviously, things didn't go as planned for Alberto, but what has he meant to this team throughout this season, and what are some of the characteristics that he has that have allowed him to excel, even if it didn't go how he hoped?
Berto shows up every single day. He probably works, what you guys don't see, harder than almost anyone on our team. He's getting after it in the weight room. He's definitely the sweatiest guy in there. He's just getting after it. So same thing on the field. I made a transition from working at third base to first base this season, and he hasn't missed a day of early work with me. He gets up early to be there for early defense when he's not even going to be playing on the field. So, he's taught me 95% of the stuff I know about first base, and I can't thank him enough. He's a great dude, a great teammate, and I feel terrible that he's not able to play this year.
Andrew, how have you seen Dean handle some of his defensive mistakes, and how have you all as teammates tried to pick him up and encourage him along the way?
He's one of the most talented players I've ever played with, been around, played against even. He was the shortstop on Team USA. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. He's he is the definition of, what you want in your locker room, and same thing on the field, like the way he works too. He's another guy. He doesn't miss early work. He just might be going through like a little rough patch right now, or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, he's our guy. I'll be out on that field, and I'm okay with it being our last game of the year, and he's out there next to us on that field, and whether he gets the job done or not, he's our guy. So that's how I feel about him. You guys, if you guys are with him every single day, would know his personality, and he's very level-headed. He's never going to get shook by something that happened in the field and bring it to his at bat, or something that happened while he was hitting and bring it to the field. He's one of the best vocal leaders on our team. He also leads by example, and for him to do that as a sophomore is super impressive for me. I had a guy, Alex Mooney. He was basically what Dean was this year, but my freshman year when I was at Duke, and he was a draft-eligible sophomore, and I see a lot of things that they both do the same, and it's impressive that he can do that as a sophomore. Not many people can, so hats off to him.
In Hoover, over here. In Hoover, Vitello talked about how you guys were able to handle punches and growing in that department, but what do you think you guys need to do more to be able to land a few of your own?
Yeah, I think part of it too is like you got to be able to not just handle punches, but be able to throw a couple consecutive ones, right? So like you go down 2-0, 5-0 against Vanderbilt, right? You got to be able to get up and throw a punch, but Vanderbilt is able to throw a couple consecutive ones, right? And it ends up being the knockout punch at the end. But I think in the postseason tournament, you got to be able to throw a couple consecutive punches and not be almost like satisfied about where you're at. If you play Friday night and you take a 6-run lead, you're looking to get to that mercy rule point so you can save pitching, right? Like there's a couple other goals that you want to achieve if you do get to that point, and not just be satisfied, because then you got to bring in another arm out of the pen, and then maybe they're not rested for the next day. So there's going to be another approach to this kind of a tournament that I think Coach Vitello will take, and I trust him, and I think he's the best at it. So I think he's going to put us in a good spot to win.
You kind of answered some of that there, but what goes into handling those punches? I mean, you guys are down 4-0 against Texas, a bad fifth inning, in the field against Alabama, but season high 20 hits. I mean, for the response, what goes into that response? Any discussions in the dugout, or what was kind of the vibe in those moments for you guys to bounce back the right way?
Yeah, I think part of it is you're not trying to ride too much of a high or too much of a low. You're trying to be the same team every single day, which I don't know that our team has been the best at this year. But again, part of that's we got a bunch of young guys in the group, and then you got a couple guys Levi Clark was the hero for the first 6 weeks of this team. He's arguably the best hitter in the country. He actually hits the grand slam in one of those games early on to give us a lead and whatever else. So for guys to experience moments like that, and then now later in the season they feel like they got to beat the hero in the SEC tournament and take that big swing or whatever, where maybe that might not be the approach anymore. I feel like our team has just been riding a high and then a low and then a high, where we got to be a little bit more level going in. But even if we win, you can't get up too high, and you got to just attack the next day the same way.
With what Arv and AJ gave you all out of the bullpen in Hoover, what is that? What do you think that does for this team's trajectory, and especially the trajectory of the pitching staff?
Yeah, I mean it shows a bunch of great things for us. I think I could speak for myself. I don't know about the other guys, but I knew that they both could pitch like that. I've seen a bunch of video of Arv throw, and I've seen him also throw a bunch throughout the fall, and even this season, even though his outings are kind of short here and there, you see like flashes of like, wow, he could be really, really good. And the same thing I faced Russell last year, and when I played for Ole Miss, and just unreal the way the ball comes out of his hand. It's remarkable. So, I mean, obviously you wouldn't know unless you're standing in the box against him, but I was able to see what I saw last year. Actually, it was the game he got hurt in. So obviously he wasn't 100%, but I saw flashes of that this weekend of what I saw back then, and it's a really, really good step forward for them both, and I think it helps us moving forward into this postseason. Everyone wants to know like who's going to be your Friday, Saturday, Sunday starter, or what's the approach going in, and I think right now you see what they both gave you, you might now have five different options. So that puts us in a good spot.